And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Tornado Talk. We're here on Monday nights where we talk all things Brevard College athletics, and tonight a special baseball edition. Very pleased to be talking some hardball here in July with head coach Mike Victory, assistant coach Rob Julian, and assistant coach Steve Hucke of the Brevard College baseball team. Gentlemen, thanks for joining the program.
Excited to be here.
Thanks for having us, Phil.
Yep, good to be here.
Outstanding. Well, we're looking forward to this conversation tonight as we delve into all things Brevard College baseball. And do want to just do a little check-in first. You know, obviously, as everyone knows, are across the globe, unprecedented times right now. But just want to kind of check in with each of you. Where you at? How you doing? Family and yourself safe and healthy? We'll start with you, Coach Victory.
Yeah, we're doing well. Took some time to go see my wife's family in Maryland for a little bit. It was nice for her. And then we got back here and just been having some recruits on campus, trying to see some baseball out this way and trying to get ourselves prepared to get the kids back on campus and hit the ground running.
Very good. Coach Julian?
Yeah, I'm currently at home in Pittsburgh. Having to go back and forth a little bit with all the rules. It's been a little hard to get back and come back and have to quarantine. So I've just kind of been here and trying to settle down on a date of when I can get back down there. For the most part right now, just been watching games online and talking to recruits, trying to get them on campus for coach to seal deals, and go from there. And excited, like he said, to get back and get the guys back on campus.
And Coach Hucke, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Just been able to get back to work at DBAT and doing some camps and clinics there and watching games when I can, get out and doing some PBR events and stuff like that. So it's been good. Family's doing great. Got to spend a couple weeks with my dad up in Iowa, which was nice. Much needed. Got some projects done for him and got back. Got some projects done around here. So, but talking to kids, I've been talking to kids, recruits, probably since the day they called the season off. So. I know Coach Victory's probably getting tired of my emails, text messages, all the new kids have coming in. So I hope he's not, because I'm going to keep shoving them.
Nope. Keep them coming.
Great to hear. Well, I do want to review last season. And as you mentioned, Coach Hucke, it was an abbreviated season, but still some highlights for the Tornadoes I do want to point out. And, for you all as a coaching staff, your first season together and at the helm of Tornadoes baseball. And do want to just start off with the, opening series, a series at William Peace at the USA Baseball Training Complex. A great opportunity for the players to play at that facility. And Nathan Sanders picks up a USA South Conference Baseball Rookie Pitcher of the Week award after a performance that weekend at William Peace. I know, as far as the win-loss column, not the way, we wanted things to go, but, certainly great to get everyone's feet wet in that series at the USA Baseball Training Complex. Mike Victory, Coach Victory, thoughts on that opening series?
Yeah, everyone's excited to finally get out there and play. The guys had worked really hard since we showed up on campus, and, they were bought in and doing the things that we were asking them to do, and there was so much energy in that dugout in that first game. And, you're right, it didn't go exactly how we had planned. But with, Division III, we had a couple of weeks in the fall to really get to know these guys, and then a couple more before we got going in the spring. So we were still trying to figure a lot of things out and who were going to be the guys that could step up for us in those big moments. And that was a weekend where we started to see who our guys were going to be. And Sanders is definitely going to be one of those dudes long-term that's going to pitch a lot for us. He's a gamer, and he knows how to go out there and just get the job done. And I know you'll bring it up later. There's a lot of young guys that stepped up for us throughout that short season.
Well, we'll continue our review of this past season momentarily, but do want to remind folks this is an interactive program. You can ask questions, leave comments in the Facebook Live chat area, and we'll try to get to them throughout the show. And this first one from Caro Addams. Miss all you guys and the team. I'm very thankful I got to enjoy my last semester down at the field with you all. Caro, just a great supporter of Brevard College athletics and especially Brevard College baseball. Great to hear from her. Thank you, Caro. Well, as we continue our review of this past season, first win of the year at Guilford in Greensboro, North Carolina on February the 15th. Ben Melton with the start, Sam Gowd with his first collegiate victory, and a wild affair, 12-11 the final score, but Tornadoes end up on top. Coach Julian, can you reflect back on that first win of the year at Guilford?
I think we all lost a few years of our lives during that game. But yeah, I mean, obviously it was great to get that first one, especially for the big guy up there. Great for him to get that, and for us to get the first one as a staff and as a program. Like you said, Sam kind of stood out because he did so well and came in, but a ton of guys did well that game and came in and did what they had to do and stepped up during big moments. So that was awesome to pull that game out, because that's a game where if it goes the other way, it's heartbreaking for you as a team. So it was great to get that one and kind of get that first win and get the ball rolling a little bit.
Yeah, Coach Hucke, 17 total hits in that one. Jason Jucker had 4 hits. Brandon Johnson with a huge game and a huge series as well. He also, along with Sam Gowd, winning USA South Conference Weekly Awards. What's your takeaway, and what are the keys to actually coming out on top of these wild seesaw affairs when, both teams get into the double digits in run totals?
Just keep producing runs. I mean, you got to outscore your opponent. And, there was times during that game I'm like, are we going to have enough manpower to be able to outscore these guys? Because every time we'd do something, they would do something. But what I saw was the team buying into our philosophy of the base 2 system. They answered back when they had to. We had guys get some clutch hits, and guys getting multiple hits. I mean, there's my shoulder got sore swinging guys around, but I'll take it, and I know I was a little aggressive on a couple plays during those games, but we would teach those guys go out there and score some runs, and I was happy with our approaches to the plate. A lot of our guys did a lot better job of seeing the ball and adjusting to the situation that we had to score some runs for us, those clutch hits.
A 12-11 win at Guilford, the first victory of the Mike Victory era, and then
no pressure, Coach.
No pressure. And then the Tornadoes have to get ready for the home opening series. And when I say get ready, it wasn't just your normal like, hey, let's get our heads together and into game mode. A snowstorm hits Western North Carolina and Brevard, North Carolina on the eve of the home opening series. February 21st through 23rd. I remember doing a special edition of Tornado Talk, and the snow was still going down, and Coach Hucke, who's from Minnesota, very confident throughout the whole thing that everything was going to turn out just fine. Meanwhile, the team and the coaching staff rallies together and prepares that field. Coach Victory, before we get into a couple more details of that weekend, just the teamwork that it takes to get a field ready, and it ended up going off just about on schedule.
Yeah. For all of us on the staff, we're all northern guys, so that was a dusting at best. So we've played in way worse conditions for baseball, and that was – we have built that in. We told the guys from the beginning, like, we're not going to practice inside. We had hit in the cages a few times with snow coming down around us, so we were getting ready for that kind of cold weather. And we have a lot of guys that aren't afraid to get their hands dirty and put in that work so that they can play baseball. It took a lot to get the tarp off when it's really cold, but there was an excitement to play home baseball games. We had played all those non-conference games on the road up until that point in time, and this was a chance to show our home fans what we could do. And I'd be lying if the guys weren't tired that weekend, but they were excited to play at home, and they did the things that they needed to do. And that was indicative of who we are as a team and who that group of guys is. They're going to do whatever they can within their power to get the job done in the moment. And we're seeing that continuing to build on the baseball field for sure.
Coach Victory, and I guess this could apply to all three of you. Brandon T. Fleming writes, "Hi, Coach. Just wondering what attracted you to Brevard." Coach Victory, why don't you take that on, and love to hear from Coach Julian and Hucke as well on this one.
Sure. I always joke around. People ask me questions like this that, when you don't grow up around North Carolina, what you know of North Carolina is that there's some beaches, and then that's about it. And you don't really know what this part of the state holds. So I really didn't know what I was getting into when I came down here to interview. And I flew into the Asheville airport, and you fly in over those mountains. And starting right there, I was like, this area is, at the very least, objectively one of the prettiest places that I've ever been. And then you drive into Brevard, which is a beautiful town in itself. I love being in a small town area. And I got that feel from talking to the other staff members that the town was very bought into the college athletics. And that's exciting for me. Then I've seen that, there's people in town that'll ask you how the team's doing, and they check in with you and they help you out. A couple of the local restaurants are very, very supportive, and it's exciting for me. I love the small campus, but it's a beautiful campus. When you think of a smaller school, our campus is definitely a very traditional Southern campus, spread out, a lot to do. Our guys love getting up into Pisgah Forest and fishing, and it was a very an area full of a lot of different activities. Plus, you have Asheville and Greenville nearby if you want to go get yourself into a city, and that part of it was great. Plus, I knew it was going to snow a heck of a lot less than it was in Northwest Pennsylvania, so that was definitely a plus.
Outstanding. Coach Julian?
Yeah, for me it was one of those situations where, coach gets the job and kind of reaches out, and I wasn't necessarily entirely too gung-ho about it at the beginning. If coach will tell you, I wasn't sure, I had some things going on at home, didn't know if I wanted to go that far. And then kind of just after talking to, my parents and some people, kind of just said, let's do it. If I'm going to take a chance like this, it's going to be while I'm young, before I get too old to do those type of things. But I kind of took the job without ever seeing the campus, just kind of from what coach told me and some pictures he had sent. And then, obviously getting down there, just how beautiful everything is around it, how tight knit the community is, kind of all the things coach touched on. A big thing for me, baseball wise, was kind of the opportunity to help change a program, take it back to where it should be, where it was in the past. And then it kind of, went down a little bit, but getting it back to where we believe that we can be and where we should be. So that was a big thing for me as well.
And Coach Hucke, what attracted you to Brevard?
Well, an opportunity to stay in the college game. I'd left a position in Rochester, Minnesota, after being head coach for 17 years. So it was a tough decision, but the right decision. When I saw the campus, when Coach Victory invited me over to see the campus and to meet with him, and I drove into the campus, I was like, oh wow, this is nice. I like the small, close knit group of the buildings the way they are. It all kind of points to, in the direction of each other, where they're being cohesive together. And I saw that within some of the students I met that day, and then just sitting talking with Coach. Baseball's baseball, and like Coach Julian said, I wanted to be a part of something that changing a culture. When Coach Victory talked about what his goals and his plans were for the program, not just for that immediate season. What I liked was his vision for the whole program down the road, and that attracted me to that part because I wanted to be part of that and help change that culture. And like I say, when I'm coaching third base, I look out and see the mountains behind the campus. I mean, wow, it's a sight they'll never see. On a side note, on that weekend, of the first weekend, and I can tell you right now, first time I ever seen a baseball field mowed in February, snow the next day, and then play the next day. So, for me, that was three exciting things that happened right there, because if that had happened in Minnesota, we weren't playing. So, but no, I just was excited to be a part of the program.
Very good. Well, you can see the excitement throughout NATO Nation. Can't wait to get up there and get started. That's a sentiment for a lot of the folks out there getting ready for this upcoming season. And, Coach Julian, you mentioned the history of Brevard College baseball. Mm-hmm. And that weekend we were just talking about, the home opening series versus Piedmont was dubbed the Gil Cohen Memorial Series. Gil Cohen had passed in the weeks prior. Just a tremendous part of the legacy of Brevard College baseball. He went on to a major league career. Not only was an alum of Brevard College, 1941, but a longtime coach of Brevard College. The field is named in his honor. And, we were able to do our small part in honoring him that weekend in the Gil Cohen Memorial Series, while the community of Brevard was really tipping their hat to just an amazing life for Gil Cohen. Coach Victor, I know that was an important weekend for you as far as recognizing that history and Mr. Cohen.
Yeah, the program's only as good as where it has been, and I've already run into alums that played for Gil and have only had great things to say, and they had so many different stories to tell. I was very disappointed that I never got a chance to meet him when I got up here. Anytime you have a chance to meet somebody that a field's named after, it's an opportunity you want to take as a coach. It was definitely disappointing that it wasn't able to happen, but I know their family's been very supportive of the school, and it's important to honor the people that have helped get the program to the place that it is today. I think we have one of the nicest looking parks that I've seen in Division III when I've been out in a few different conferences now. And, that doesn't happen without generous donations from people who really care about the program. And we want to make sure that we continue to lead the program in a direction that honors that memory and that tradition.
Well, following that home opening series, the Gil Cohen Memorial Series, another win on the road at NC Wesleyan, an 8-2 win in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Christian Ezell with a big game, 4 for 5 RBIs, a 2-run bomb. And then Coach Julian, a couple of your pitchers, Bryce Foster and Huntley Hacker, really with big performances. You remember those two getting it done?
Oh yeah. I think those were two guys that we expected to do big things for us at the beginning of the year, and it was nice to see them do what we knew they could do. Bryce is going to be Bryce, and that's the only way I can really describe him. Is he's going to give you what he has for as long as he has it, and then you got to go to somebody else. And he gave us what he had for 3 innings, and that was fine. We got out, no runs, and then obviously Norm came in and did what we needed him to do, and I think that was his longest outing by far of the year. So it was nice to see him be able to extend himself a little bit and get us a win there.
And then Wednesday, March 11th, what ended up being the final game of the season, a 5-1 win versus Emory and Henry at Gil Cohen Field on the campus of Brevard College. Reed Zymick with a big day on the mound. Holden Lanier with a 3-run home run, which was key. And Coach Hucke, that was big, getting that win on the home field. And, a lot of folks weren't realizing that would be the last game of the year, but great to go out on a high note like that.
Yeah, I just wish I would have been a part of it. I was down watching my son play in Georgia on his spring break trip. So it was, I want to say thanks to Mike for allowing me to do that, because I knew I wouldn't be able to see him play very often. But, listening to you on my phone as I was making my way back to Brevard and listening to some of the replay of it, and I was excited, Coach Julian must have did a pretty good job coaching third base that day, scored some runs. So, I'm going to tip my hat to him for filling in for me and putting some pressure on me, but I was happy for the guys and happy for the pitchers. Reed pitched phenomenal from my understand, and Holden, who's been up and down all year and finally got a chance to get a hold of one and see what he can do. And so it was a good feeling, even though I wasn't on the field, but I was still there in spirit and still there. And those guys are still working hard to win. And I know I got a couple text messages from some of the guys after the game saying, "Hey, Coach, we were thinking of you while you, I hope you enjoyed watching your son play." So that meant a lot, that they took time to do that. But no, it was a good way to win. I just wish it wouldn't have been in the season, because I think we were just starting to really see our team, starting to see what we can do, and our hitters were just starting to realize what they were capable of doing. And I think I think we would have had a few more wins under our belt along the way. And I was looking forward to seeing them finish the season out strong.
In Coach Victory, I remember talking to you following that game and just how significant that was. I mean, that was a stretch where there was 5 games played in like basically a stretch of 5 days, I
Mhm.
believe. You know, Maryville series, Hampton, Sydney, and then Emory and Henry. And things, as far as the final result, not going the way of the Tornadoes, but then able to get that win versus Emory and Henry, that was big for the mentality of the team.
Yeah, it was a complete ball game. There's a lot of little things in there. I went back and watched with the Flashback Friday and watching that game again, and little things that I had forgot. Holden's home run came with 2 outs. I think we might have had nobody on and scratched a couple of base runners together, and then he battled an account and ran into one, and that was huge. And we never expected Reed to give us as much as he did. We knew he was capable of doing it. But he hadn't been asked to go that deep into a game at any point in time up until then. But he just kept going out there and pitching with good tempo, and our guys played really good defense behind him too. And sometimes that was something that was missing from games that we struggled in. But it was one of those ones that you got all 3 facets of the baseball game in, and I think we were ready to go down to Huntington and let that momentum continue. So that was definitely a disappointment. I got a couple guys into that game. I think I had a little bit of an inkling that the end was coming. We got a couple older guys into that game just to get them one more appearance out there because we missed out on that senior day opportunity too. And I was glad we were able to do that and get a W out of the day.
Yeah, that game was on March the 11th, and basically the entire sports world stopped. In the coming days to follow, and that, like you mentioned, ended up being the last game for several senior class: Johnny Flynn, Tristan Jones, Donnie Carcillo, Ryan Roon, Bryce Foster, and Cross Robinson. I know we tried to do it as much as we could virtually, to honor those seniors and to let them know just how important they were to NATO Nation. But Coach Victory haven't actually coached them, for this abbreviated season and all of fall ball as well. Can you give us some thoughts on this senior class?
Yeah, I've said this a few different ways now, but they were very welcoming of us when we got here. It's tough as a senior when you're going through a coaching change. There's a lot of uncertainty as to what your role on the team is going to be, uncertainty of what the expectations of a coaching staff is going to be. You've been doing the same thing for 3 years, and now everything's going to be different. But they bought in, and you need that from your oldest guys, and some of them were captains, and you need them to buy in so that the younger guys buy in and it trickles down. We appreciated that out of them, which was great. And they were, sometimes not always playing. Sometimes they were playing a lot, but they always embraced their role and were great teammates. And I think they set the bar really high for what you need to expect out of senior leadership going forward. And, they're guys that are going to be missed for sure. All of them will be missed.
And a couple of those seniors, Coach Julian, part of your pitching staff, Bryce Foster and Cross Robinson. Can you specifically talk about the 2 senior hurlers?
Yeah, both of those guys kind of lead in 2 different ways. Bryce isn't as vocal really as Cross is. Cross will come out and just kind of tell you how he feels, and he doesn't really care how it makes you feel. He'll just kind of tell you about it. But then he can go and Cross can go and back it up. So it kind of works out that way. Where Bryce, talented guy, but kind of says a little bit less and kind of just lets his kind of body of work do the talking. Like I mentioned before, they're very different, pitchers as well. But they both go about their business the right way, and they both have a way about them to get guys to work hard for them, and guys know that they're going to work their butts off out there to help us win baseball games. And it was a pleasure and a privilege to get to work with those guys, and they're going to, continue to be successful on and off the field. Cross is going to go do great things at UNC Greensboro, and then hopefully continue after that. And Bryce, in whatever law enforcement field he goes and ends up going with, he's gonna do great things in that, just because they're both 2 great people.
Cross Robinson, Bryce Foster, Ryan Roon, Donnie Carcillo, Tristan Jones, and Johnny Flynn. Coach Hucke, impressive senior class, correct?
Yes, I just felt sorry that Johnny got hurt right there before the end of the season there, and didn't get a chance to go out and be a part of that last victory and everything. And he did a great job coaching first base, from what I understand. But you feel sorry for guys like that, especially when you heard the talking and the grumbling and the possibility of the season being done, and your first thought goes to those seniors and all the blood and the sweat they put into the program, and then they have someone get hurt. Donnie he just found a way to get on base. He had a great eye at the plate. Maybe slap a hit here and there. And Ryan Roon was versatile on defense. He could play third, second. And would come up with some clutch hits once in a while. So those guys just worked hard, and they were great leaders in the respects that they just went out and did their thing and didn't try to do more than they were capable of doing. And they're going to be great young men when they move on and what they decide to do in their lives. And I just hope that they can cherish the moments that they had and understand that this is still a pretty special season. Even though it was cut short. I mean, they're always going to be remembered for the COVID, but in our mind, in our view, they're going to be remembered for what they left on the field for us, and they gave us everything they had.
Comment here from Jeff J.D. Dennis. Coach Hucke hit the nail on the head. It was obvious that the team was figuring it out right at the time the season ended. Good things were going to happen in that season. But the good news is, a lot to look forward to at the same time, where we're going to get into a bit of a preview of this upcoming season. But to put a bow on this past year, I do want to mention a few more awards. The baseball program produced 12 USA South All-Academic, All-Conference honorees: Jacob Dennis, Bryce Foster, Tristan Jones, Jason Jucker, Ben Melton, Tanner Rivas, Cross Robinson, Ryan Roon, Nathan Sanders, Matt Scavato, Alex Winchester, and Joseph Zub. Foster, by the way, a with distinction honoree. That requires a GPA of 3.90 or higher. Mike Victory, Coach, you have to be impressed with those sorts of academic performances. I know that's a big emphasis for the club.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to be great at everything that we do, and the classroom is a big part of that. We're just on the cusp of being 3.0 as a cumulative GPA for a team, and that's something that we're going to continue to push for. The athletic department has done a great job. Angie setting up our study hall and getting that going for our guys, and I know that made a difference for a lot of the younger players on our team that were in there. I know the hardest part, sometimes hardest 2 semesters that you go through can be that first semester away from home, that first semester playing college baseball, and having the support of the academic and athletic side with the study hall is going to be huge for them long term. So we can set them up with 3.0s by the end of their freshman year. I think they're going to do really, really well, and getting those study habits ingrained and introducing them to all the resources that the college has for sure. There's a lot of seniors on that list, guys that continue to work on their academics all the way through their graduation, which as Coach touched on, is going to mean they're going to do really, really well when they get out of here, and that's important to us too. If you're working hard in the baseball field in the classroom, you're going to do great when you get into your career, and ideally as a father and a husband down the road too. And we're excited for those guys, and we're going to see more and more of those honorees going forward.
Very good. Yeah, outstanding. 12 USA South All-Academic, All-Conference honorees. Coach Victory, as we look ahead to this upcoming season, I know a nucleus of returners and also a lot of exciting newcomers. Roster-wise, can you give us a little bit of a preview of what NATO Nation can expect this upcoming season?
We did a good job with recruiting. I credit the coaching staff for going out there and identifying a lot of great guys that want to be a part of this program. That's important to me. We found guys that wanted to be here. It wasn't like it was a backup option. It was they came to campus, they loved what we were doing, and they're excited to be Tornadoes. It's a good group of about 20 with some freshmen and some transfers mixed in there, and then we'll have about the same number of guys coming back next year. I know when we get back in the fall that the energy is going to be at an all-time high. I have all these seniors coming in as freshmen that missed out on that senior season. And, I understand the global pandemic, but that's something that they don't get back. But I know they're excited to be here. They've been without baseball. Some of them haven't been able to play summer ball, but they've been working hard, hitting, lifting, doing what they can. And they're ready to get out here. And I know it's the same for our guys. A lot of them have had to make sure that they're working, picking up some extra shifts to help the family out through this. And summer ball has been kind of put on hold for them. They've been a long time without baseball too, but they saw that we were building on something last spring, and I know they're going to be excited to get out here and get to work. We're gonna have a lot of fresh new arms to try to replace Cross and Bryce, and some hitters that want to come in and take the spots of those seniors that graduated as well. And that's going to be exciting. There's going to be a lot more competition this year. I can feel that coming. A lot of hungry freshmen that want to come for the playing time of the guys that we have here. But that's something that we build in. We tell the guys that we're going to try to recruit guys better than what we have right now. And you got to keep those freshmen at bay while continuing to get them acclimated to the program. I think that's the exciting thing, to get all of that going. I know that the upperclassmen have been getting them involved already, and with the group me and all of that. And, I think we're just gonna hit the ground running.
Attaboy, Joseph.
Yeah, Assistant Sports Information Director Joseph Marvin chiming in. He's actually on vacation, so able to chime in with this one. Michael Victory, how does it feel to be Twitter famous now? #raise up. Is there a backstory here that the audience may not be familiar with?
It's been an exciting offseason. I got a tweet liked by Blake Snell, one of my favorite pitchers. Coach Julian always brags about trying to go viral on Twitter, and then I had a tweet kind of blow up there after a summer tournament a little while ago. I got really frustrated.
I was sitting right next to him when he set that one out. Yeah, so I mean, I'm somewhat famous too, I guess.
How many likes though?
Oh, it was a lot. I don't remember now. It was so many, but it got out there. And then today I got a tweet liked by Rays Baseball. So Joseph's telling me the blue check mark's coming right around the corner, which is exciting.
That's what everyone's striving for, that verified account. So good luck with that, Coach
Thank
Victory. Coach Julian, as far as this upcoming season, I know you're on the phone and FaceTime or what have you with returning players as well as recruits. What are the sorts of things you're hearing as far as the excitement for this upcoming season?
I think something that excites me a lot is guys are asking questions of what they can do to, get better, or what they can do to, for this or this or this. We just don't have, a bunch of yes men. And I think that's something that, we like, where guys are asking questions. And if I tell somebody, here's, A, B, C, and D, they're asking questions of, okay, what does this do? Or what's what's this for? And I love that. And I know Coach likes that as well. Where, I think whenever we first got here, they were kind of afraid to ask us those type of questions, where it was always, hey, go do, whatever. And they would just say, yes, sir, and go do it, which is great. That's fine too. But at the same time, we want them to understand why they're doing the things they're doing. And it's not just like, here, go do this because, it's a waste of 25 minutes. No, there's a purpose for everything we do. And I love that guys are asking and understanding, why we're doing things. I have returners and new guys texting me all the time saying they're excited to, get on campus, and, they put on, this many pounds, or, they can squat this much weight now. And it's exciting, they're excited, and that just makes us, more excited to get back out there.
And Coach Hucke, in your time with Brevard College and working with the student athletes, did you see a growth in their comfort level with the coaching staff, and also just them as individuals and ultimately team players?
Yeah, I saw a lot of growth. I saw that when I first got there, they were real timid around us. We would joke and they would look at us like, "Are we supposed to laugh too?" And finally, kind of talking with them, and then I think Coach Julian and I and Coach sitting in the dugout with them during games and practices and doing things and saying things and having some fun. They got started realizing what we're like. We're business-like. We want to, there's that fine line, but it's okay to have fun, because baseball is supposed to be fun. I mean, if you're not having fun, you're not going to be successful. So you got to have fun. You got to enjoy it. And I think once the they saw it in the coaches, how we interacted with each other and gave each other a hard time, and we laughed about it. And we also were serious about what we're talking, teaching them, and how we back each other up. The players started loosening up, started realizing. I saw growth, and I saw it, right before they cut us off. They started being a little bit more competitive. They started saying things, and getting the team going, and just I saw a different atmosphere and different environment starting to show. And it's just too bad we couldn't see how that would have, carried over into the games the rest of the season. But, there's a lot of excitement. A lot of kids I talked to that are coming in, they're excited to be here. They can't wait. Out of boredom, I went and made a video myself at Brevard early in this time, and called my guys out, said, "Hey, I'm getting my work in. Are you?" And I got some text messages. "Yeah, coach." And I got some videos. "Yeah, I'm doing my work." And so I kind of challenged them a little bit. So hopefully and I challenged some of our new recruits that are coming in that are committed and said, "Hey, I'm getting my work in. What are you doing to get your work in?" And I got responses. So, they're excited about doing it. And they thought, a couple of them, "Hey, coach, that's pretty cool. You out there swinging." And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to feel it tomorrow, but it's all right." But I'm excited to get back on the diamond. And I think that's the other thing you're going to see is every one of those kids, regardless if they played this summer or not, they're going to be so excited to be back on that ball diamond representing Brevard College. And I think that's going to be a huge thing for us in the fall.
Outstanding. Well, the other big news this offseason, which certainly will have a big effect also on Brevard College baseball, is Brevard College now officially a member of NCAA Division III, also official a full-time membership in the USA South Conference. So certainly some goals there that can be met, and a new opportunity for this class of student athletes. NCAA Division III postseason, a possibility. Also USA South Conference postseason, all sorts of additional national awards that individuals can go after as well. Coach Victory, big news for the baseball program.
Yeah, I don't think our seniors get enough credit for their dedication to the program for a few years when those kind of awards and that playoff opportunity didn't exist for them. The guys that stuck around and stuck by this program through that and played, and mostly were playing for the love of the game at that point in time was huge, and I respect them a lot for that. But now it's super exciting for our guys here to every single year until we make it are going to be, hey, I want to be the first NATO baseball team to make the USA South playoffs, and that's always going to be our goal, is to get there and see how far that can take us. It was important for me when I got here to make sure that our schedule was 40 Division III games. I think in where we want to go and where we expect to get this program to, you got to be thinking that at-large bids are always a possibility. And we needed to have those 40 Division III games to make that a possibility for our guys, and we're there. I think that part of the scheduling was exciting for me to get to that point where I knew, hey, all these games are going to count for us, and strength of schedule and all of those kind of things. The USA South's ridiculously competitive. When you look around, there's no days off in that conference. East, West, now it doesn't matter. You're going to have to go in every single weekend and show out. And I think it's going to be easier. It's easier for me, at least, to conceptualize being one of the top 4 teams on the West out of 7 than it was to try to be the top 8 out of 14 in the way that it was previously. I think, we know the teams that we're going to have to play year in and year out, and they're teams that have represented our conference on the national level. And we know we got to get on that level if we want to be there. And we tell the guys we're going to treat every workout, every practice like we're a championship caliber team until we get there. And then we'll just keep working beyond that. So I think that it's all really exciting to be a part of that. And someday to be able to dogpile and win a USA South championship and represent our conference on the national level is obviously one of the main goals of the program.
And this program that you all as a coaching staff have been establishing, a team culture is starting to emerge. It was detailed in a story on bctornadoes.com back at the start of the stoppage of play, and ideas like one day better, do simple better, Mudita, Coach Julian, team culture wise, and feel free to play off of any of those slogans or just whatever might come to mind. You guys are really making some strides, and can you kind of describe to folks who might not be aware of some of those philosophies where you guys are trying to take this thing?
Yeah, first and foremost, we're a family. So every single day, we want to go out and grind for our brothers, whether that be on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, just being a good person around campus, things like that. We want to make sure that we set a good example for what it means to be a Brevard College baseball player. And then obviously with some of those other things, do simple better. We've talked about it. Best teams in the country do the simple things really, really well, and that's why they're really, really good. If you can't do the simple things, then you're not going to be able to do the complex things. So we want to make sure that we're exceptional at doing the simple things with baseball, as well as the simple things of getting to class on time or turning our paper in on time. Things that don't really take a ton of effort, not being late to workouts, not being late to practice if we don't have to, things like that. One day better, basically, we're going to try to strive to be better we're going to try to be 1% better every single day, whether that be on the field, in the weight room, in the classroom, et cetera, et cetera. Just in some facet of our lives. We're going to do something better. That might start with, you waking up and making your bed today for the first time in, a month. It could be as simple as that. We just want to be better at one thing every single day. And then Mudita, that's coach's big one there. It's really, really difficult to be a guy that, you might not be playing a ton. And the guy in front of you is doing really, really well. We're going to be happy for that guy. It doesn't matter, if you're guy 40 or guy number 1, everybody's going to be happy for each other whenever their numbers are called and when they succeed, and things like that. And it all comes back to kind of us just kind of riding with each other and being one big family and kind of going from there.
Well, Myranda Nash with the comment, one team, one family, thankful for this staff and all you do. Thank you for that note, Myranda. Coach Hucke, these sorts of ideals, these sorts of philosophies, ingraining this in the student athletes, sort of DNA is critical in building a championship program, correct?
Yes, it is. You got to get everybody to buy in for the right reason, play for the guy in front of you, behind you, beside you. So, if you can get those guys to do that on a daily basis, I look at it when, inter-squad scrimmages. If you can get up to play against your own teammate, it's not going to be hard to get up to play against somebody else when you're side by side on the field. And I think, by us displaying it ourselves as coaching staffs, doing the right things, being on time, modeling those things from a standpoint of the work that we do so they can appreciate what we do for them. Because they don't see everything that we do. They just see what we do on the field. And, they may have a little bit of understanding of what we do behind the scenes. But, if we can model it on the field, show them how much we care about them and care about the program and what direction this program's going, it's an easier buy-in for the guys because then they know you're gonna go to battle for them. They're gonna battle for you. I mean, yes, we get on the umpires a little bit, but everybody does. But sometimes you got to back your guys up a little bit just to let them know that we're there for you. Yeah, I went there, fellas. But I think at times guys need to see that. Because sometimes you just feel like there's something missing and maybe a little bit of excitement, a little bit of push from that standpoint gets the guys kind of fired up a little bit and kind of push forward in the right direction. But yeah, I think to get them to buy in, you got to understand that you're all pulling that same side of the rope, and you got to be willing to hold that rope for somebody and pull them to safety or pull them on the right side and get you there to get that championship ring. I mean, it's something special when that happens, and I could see some great things happening with this program and looking forward to some dog piles with this group.
Coach Victory, we talked about academics. I know community service, a big emphasis as well. And obviously, all these off the field, ideals, philosophies, disciplines. Additional thoughts on the team culture?
It's ever changing. You know what I mean? We're going to, as we continue to grow, we're going to adapt to it. We're going to have an additional little piece for this season that I'm not going to spoil for the guys here on air, but they can have that to look forward to. And I'm trying to live it, this time too, when we've been away from the guys and not able to be developing with them. I'm trying to do it on my own, trying to do some reading and get myself prepared to continue to push this program in the right direction. I think for me, the one thing that I've really tried to reevaluate is doing simple better and trying to look at the way that we do some of our practices and some of our game planning and trying to simplify that and take some of the guesswork and some of the extravagant bunt defenses that I might have brought with me and get them out of there. And let's get really good at a few things before we get too far into it. But for me, it's going to come too from the leadership, and I think we have 3 captains coming back that absolutely get it. They're guys that all lead in very, very different ways, but they all lead and they all know what they want. 2 seniors, they know what they want out of their senior year. If this is the only year that they play as a NATO one more time, and as a junior that knows what he wants before he graduates. We have other guys on the team too that don't have a captainship right now, but I know they know how to go out there and get their work done and hold their teammates accountable. And that's a big part of it, is being able to look at the guy next to you who's not running his hardest, or he's slacking off during a drill or in the weight room, and tell him, hey, that's not good enough. That's not the way we do things. And building that into your program where you can get called out and not get upset by it and just be like, yeah, you know what? He got me. He got me today. He's right. I'm going to push myself and do what I'm supposed to do for all the guys around me. That's why team lifts are great. I like to be in there and be around as an entire team. We do our team practices. We do some individual things, but having all the guys at a team practice where everyone has goals that day, I think that's really important. And we're going to keep trying to do as many things as a team to push each other forward.
Very good. Just a couple more before we let you go. Coach Julian, as you're speaking with future Tornadoes, high school baseball student athletes and the like, what are the sorts of things you communicate to them in terms of the positives of not only the Brevard College baseball program, but Brevard College as a whole?
The main thing that I talk about all the time is just the academic side of it with the professors and how you're going to know them and they're going to know you. I think that's incredibly important. As somebody that went to a liberal arts college and had that relationship with my professors, I don't think I could have done it any other way, to be honest. Probably would have fell through the cracks at a big school. So it's awesome to have that relationship with them and to have people that care about you that aren't just, your coaches or your teammates. I'll be walking through a building with a Brevard College baseball shirt on, and a professor that I might have never seen before will just say, hey, good luck this weekend, or how's the team doing? And it's just little things like that are awesome. I know I timed it up a little bit for a while here whenever we were doing recruiting visits in the springtime, that I would always run into President Joyce. I don't know if he knew that it was calculated, but it was. So it's nice to have somebody, like that as well, that is a superior and a higher up that cares about not just the baseball program, but athletics as a whole. And then obviously, on the baseball field, an opportunity to come be a part of something that, could be really special. If we do the things that we should do and we get the right guys and the guys, push themselves to get where, we believe they can go, the sky's the limit for us. And I think that's exciting to, be a part of.
Coach Hucke, I know you're communicating with a number of recruits as well. A special opportunity for these student athletes to be a part of this Brevard College program.
Yes, the positive side of a new coaching staff, that the expectations a little bit different, and with bringing in a new group, you've got a chance to be a part of something that's going to be new, exciting, and be a part of something that's probably going to end up growing and being a very exciting time in the baseball program. And seeing the guy here and talking to some of the guys on the phone and telling them this is our first year and this is what we're trying to do. This is the attitude we're trying to get across to the guys and what we're trying to push and what we're emphasizing. They're really excited about it because they have a chance to come in and be a part of that. And, and maybe not, like Coach Vicky already says, you might not be a part of that dog pile, but you're going to call us, after you're done 5 or 6 years out and we finally do it. They're going to be guys calling, hey, Coach, we helped set that foundation. And that's something that's going to be still pretty special because we're still part of it. I emphasize with the guys are the growth of the academic programs, with exercise science, expanding and the addition of the physical education and recreation department. I mean, a lot of kids are getting excited about that. I've talked to quite a few now that are looking to come here, 2021s, that are very excited about, that possibility being in physical education, recreation, and, in exercise science and also the some of the criminal justice, growth that's happening. So, and a lot of them are excited about the football team coming back on campus. I think that's also something that has been mentioned. I think it's still going to be huge because it's really going to build even a stronger community within Brevard College, and having everybody on campus, having alumni coming back, and they're going to see the baseball field. They're going to see some activity over there. We might get some people popping over before the game or whatever and stuff like that, just to see what's going on over here. And hey, I remember coming over watching games. Hey, I remember being a part of this, and I'm excited to see how this goes and how fast we can get this things going the right way. And Coach Victor's doing an awesome job of conveying his message to the guys and to the coaching staff. And, Coach Julian's doing a great job pushing those pitchers to be, the best they can be. And hopefully I'm doing my job from a defensive infield guy and with the hitters. I mean, you got to understand it's not just one guy does it. You can't rely just on one guy like Cross go out there and, strike everybody out. You got to have some guys defense behind him. You got to guys put some runs up because the other team's trying to do the same thing Cross trying to do. So, I'm excited because I think we got a lot of kids who are really, really excited about Brevard. Like Coach said earlier, they want to be a part of Brevard College. They want to be a Brevard Tornado. I don't know how many emails I've gotten that said, I've explored your program. I want to be a Brevard Tornado, and here's my video and stuff like that. So for me, that's exciting and makes it easier to recruit because you got kids who actually did a little bit of research, and that's different for me coming from a community college aspect, that more kids at D3 in this area, they do more of an exploration on the websites and taking a look at what the school has to offer. And they're very, very upfront of what they want to get from it. And like Coach says, you got to do it in the classroom before you do it on the baseball field. And I'm excited to see how this program goes.
Coach Victory, exciting time to be a Tornado, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're invested in the school. You can see the school investing in itself, and that's a big thing. And it even goes back to why I came here, was seeing the school invest in itself. And that new field house is going to be amazing. I thought our locker rooms were great anyways, and being able to have an even better setup for our guys is awesome. The other sports teams, now as the USA South is set, we're going to have the same rivals. The teams are all going to not like the same other teams, and you're going to want to show up and support and do all that. And that part of it's amazing to be part of a growing institution right now.
Well, appreciate all of you allowing us to take this deep dive into Brevard College Tornadoes baseball. Before I let you go, though, we need to talk a little Major League Baseball because the season starts this week, Thursday, 7 p.m. on ESPN, Yankees at Nationals, and then 10 p.m., Giants at Dodgers. So you got two games on Thursday night and then the entire slate on Friday. So finally some live Major League Baseball. We'll just go around the horn here, as far as what you guys are most looking forward to, maybe a pick, as far as who might come out of this thing on top. And, love to hear from each of you on the start of Major League Baseball. Coach Victory, we'll start with you.
I mean, I'm just glad to have sports back in my life for sure. I'm not a huge soccer fan. I was resorting to watching soccer. I watched some ultimate frisbee. This is a dream come true now to have baseball going again. And if you're a fan of the game, it doesn't matter who your team is. It's Cole Scherzer on Thursday night. That's must-watch TV. I think all of our guys should be out there trying to watch that game and just see what those guys do, because they just do things different and better than a lot of other people. For me, I'm a Rays fan, and I think they're going to have a great year. I think they're built for this little sprint. They got some of the best pitching out there, and they got some really young guys that I know that are excited. And hopefully they can stay healthy, both injury-wise and sickness-wise, to get out there and close the gap, take every game that they can against the Orioles, and battle against the tougher teams in that division, and the Marlins for that matter, Phil and Clinton.
Coach Julian?
Obviously I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so it's a rough time of year for Pirates fans, let me tell you. But that being said, 60 games, anything could happen. They don't have the toughest schedule in the world. So, maybe we could, sneak in and try to get in the dance. And once you get in, anything happens. If you want my pick, though, I don't see anybody beating the Yankees. I think it's really hard to pick against them, especially in a short season like this. You got one of the best pitchers in baseball, and you go down that lineup, and all 9 of those guys could be all-stars. So it's going to be tough to beat them. I just hope my Buccos can not get embarrassed every night, but we'll hope. One can dream, you know.
Very good. And Coach Hucke, excited for the start of Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I mean, being quarantined and sitting in the house all this time and not having any sports to watch, I mean, who can't be excited about it? It's looking forward to it, and I got to go with my Bo Sox, man. I mean, they're going to give the Rays a hard time, I tell you that right now. So, Coach Victor and I are going to have some talks about that, I'm sure, down the road. But, I keep an eye on the Twinkies. They got a pretty good young team up there, and they're kind of built for the 60-game season because they can all stay healthy. Because what happens, they get hurt all the time, and then they can't sustain. But I think it's going to be just great to have baseball back, have sports back. I can only watch so many of the cornhole championships to be able to be satisfied from a sports standpoint. But I was really hoping they were going to have Tiddlywinks championships, but I couldn't find them anywhere online or anything like that. So. I'm hoping that we can just, horseshoes around for a little bit. I don't know if anybody caught that or not, but, hey, you got to do what you can do. But I'm excited for baseball to start. I'm just embarrassed that 2 coaches right now, and that's okay. I don't care.
Coach, you can't sleep on cornhole. Cornhole's electric. I love cornhole.
I love it too. I love playing it.
It's crazy.
I even watch curling. Oh my God! That's I can't figure that sport out. But hey, it was fun to see something.
Yeah, ESPN the Ocho, all sorts of entertainment options.
Oh, yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for tuning in for this special edition of Brevard College baseball edition of Tornado Talk. And get a message here from Andy Eskridge. Really enjoyed this broadcast. Thank you for your time. Can't wait to watch some games. We're right there with you, Andy. Thanks for tuning in. And want to thank our guests tonight, head coach Mike Victory, assistant coaches Rob Julian and Steve Hucke, and want to thank you, the audience on Facebook Live. And if you're watching this on replay, thank you for tuning in as well. Follow Brevard College Tornadoes on Instagram and Twitter at BC Tornadoes, and be sure to subscribe and like to Facebook and YouTube pages, Brevard College Tornado Athletics. Also, Brevard College Tornado Athletics on SoundCloud if you enjoy the audio versions of this programming. Thanks again, Coach Victory, Coach Julian, Coach Hucke. Great to have you tonight on Tornado Talk.
Thanks for having us.
Always a pleasure, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.
Good. Thank you. Go